with the Wheel of Fortune, it's one of those cards that a lot of people kind of give different interpretations to. Like I don't have a lot of decks and I keep sort of going for the same decks. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to select 5 decks that I kind of never use. For me, this deck, I do kind of use it. Tarot decks are ones that I've just pulled because I never show them on my channel. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, The Importance of Temperance. I'm Katie, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're super well. So today we are back with our top tarot trumps, and we are going to be talking about the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to do something different today because I feel that I always kind of use the same sort of decks to show my cards. Yes, I get we are talking about our favorite tarot trumps out of each major arcana. However, because my collection is, like I don't have a lot of decks and I keep sort of going for the same decks. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to select 5 decks that I kind of never use and I feel that I've never shown on my top tarot trumps so far, except for one deck, which it's actually my favorite Wheel of Fortune that I've come across so far. Now, on the table, we can see the Thoth Wheel of Fortune, we can see the Marseille Wheel of Fortune, and we can see the RWS. So these are the ones, obviously, from the 3 major systems that we all know and love. So with the Wheel of Fortune, it's one of those cards that a lot of people kind of give different interpretations to. A lot of the time, I kind of feel that this is the card of karma rather than justice, because to me, the Wheel of Fortune, it depicts, how things go around, what goes around comes around sort of thing. But I guess it's also talking about how life, just evolves. So it is a constant cycle. It switches up between low and high, between dark and light, between good and bad, between good fortune and less fortune. So it's a constant cycle of life. And obviously the wheel of life, or the Wheel of Fortune as it's called, depicts the actual wheel of life and how all interconnected from, below our earth to the above, so the universe. And how sometimes what we put out there and how we behave will ultimately also have to do with where we find ourselves in life. Yes, we go through the seasons. They're not changeable because those are the seasons. We have 4 seasons. That's what we go through. So the seasons of life. We are born, we grow old, we die. That's also a cycle of life. But ultimately, there is also our own way of coming into understanding and how we want to show up in the world, and what are we going to do about how we're showing up in the world. Are we just going to be like a victim of the fates, or are we going to take control and try to co-create with fate and not be a victim, but rather be a co-creator? So being active in the way we show up in the world, and that can make a difference on the outcome. So when I see this card, I always view it as a positive card, not a negative card. I view it as something's changing, something's looking up, something's coming my way. I also view it as a card that shows me the world. So in the sense, not, how you get the world card, talking about the world card, I pulled this today, right? Shows you, you can interpret it as the world situations, global situation kind of thing. Also, this is one of those cards that reminds me of a global situation. So if I'm pulling a card and I want to sort of have a look, are we talking about me personally, or we're talking about this on a global scale? There's kind of like It makes me think of what's happening in the world globally. Yeah, so it's kind of one of those cards that I find is a bit more open to interpretation. And obviously the different systems will kind of point out different things, I guess. Yeah, so just to share my thoughts on the Wheel of Fortune and how I interpret it, I guess. So let's put those aside. And just to show you today, I pulled the World and Prosperity. I pulled this card yesterday as well. So something's telling me, people, that it's all going to be all right. You know, there's an Italian song. This is Balliamo sul mondo. So you're sort of dancing on top of the world, and she's dancing here as well. So think good things. We've come to an end of a pretty depressing cycle, and now we're going into this new cycle of abundance. Let's be joyful. Let's embrace the joy in our hearts. Let's think that we are going to be successful, and prosperity and abundance is coming in our lives. And more we are joyful and more we look at the positive, then the more we attract this positive, right? So anyway, that's my 5 cents worth of my card. So let's get into it. So obviously I've showed this deck a lot, Tarot de Colorides. It's fast becoming a little favorite of mine. These are the backs I love, and this is the Wheel of Fortune that I actually really like this Wheel of Fortune. It just reminds me of Italy. And, you know, I know that this is a Spanish deck, that Carlotta, who is the creator, and I don't know, like, it just reminds me of my childhood in Italy. It's got the wine, the little table with the little olives, beer, you know, you have for an aperitif, and you've got hanging up your chili peppers, your garlic, and I think that's lavender. It just reminds me of my childhood in Italy. And you have, you know, this stuff in your kitchen. And then obviously there's the black cat. The black cat is always looked upon as something that is a bit evil, you know what I mean? Because it's associated to, you know, the black eye, or, you know, being hexed or something like that. But yeah, I've had black cats in my life, and there's just something that reminds me of my childhood in this card, and there's also a lot of joy for me. So far in my tarot exploration and in the decks that I've had so far, yeah, I had some awesome Wheel of Fortunes that I really love, but for some reason this just reminds me of my childhood and makes me happy. So this was deliberately chosen. The other cards in the other tarot decks are ones that I've just pulled because I never show them on my channel. All right, I'll put that aside. So the next one that I want to show you is the Anima Mundi Tarot. I bought this deck. It's an indie deck, but I never use it because I can't read with it. But that doesn't mean it has some really awesome, you know, artwork in it. So these are the backs. It's gilt edged, and this is the Wheel of Fortune from this deck. Pretty basic. It's just kind of like a, I guess it looks a bit like a wheel of the old pirate ships, you know, but also the wheel of the winds as well. And down here there's kind of like sort of like a little carcass or something. Beautiful cardstock. And it's just a bit unfortunate here because I can't read with this deck. I did see it on Instagram. I fell in love with the images on Instagram, and that's hence why I got the deck. But yeah, I don't read with it all that much. Another one that I don't hardly ever use or pull out is the Field Tarot. This was a gift from my cousin for either my birthday or a Christmas, I believe, but she got it off eBay, and it's one of those, you know, it's not the real deal. It's one of those fake ones. So I guess I don't like to use it because of that, because it's a bit of a fake one. But also I'm not really too fond of this deck for some reason. This is the Wheel of Fortune. It's got cats on it. I mean, I don't mind so much the kind of art style. I just don't understand some of the imagery. You know, I don't like the Emperor and the Empress being depicted as animals for some reason. I mean, if you're going to have them depicted as animals, then have all the people in here as animals. But you've got a lot of people You know, so you've got the magician here, but then you've got like the high priestess as a wolf, or is it the emperor as a wolf? I don't know, but yeah, it's a bit weird for me, this deck. I do kind of use it for the keywords, so I sometimes use it more as an oracle deck. Do you know what I mean? Like to pull for as a clarifier and just sort of get those keywords. It's also a pip deck. Anyhow, there's something about it that I'm not sort of... so that's the Wheel of Fortune from the Field Tarot, and this is by Hannah Elizabeth Fofana. And I mean, I know a lot of people love this deck. It's been around for quite some time. Another one is the little Wonderland Tarot. Chris Abbey and Morgana Abbey. I got this. This is like tarot in a tin. It's about Alice in Wonderland. I think, it's a US Games. And I thought it was super cute. I don't know all the characters from Alice in Wonderland, but I've always kind of wanted a deck with Alice. These are the backs, which I really like. And this is our Wheel of Fortune. It's got Dodo there, and it's got the other characters from Alice in Wonderland. This is kind of like a really cute deck, to be honest. There's some cards that are really funny. I did take this with me to the Cheshire Cat, the Emperor. Yeah, I did take this somewhere with me, maybe down to Melbourne to do some readings, just because it travels easy in a tin. And yeah, I found it actually quite fun to do readings with. So that's my Wheel of Fortune from the Wonderland Tarot, which is tarot in a tin, and that's super fun as well. Now, another one that is one of those decks that I never show is the Danny Mystics, the Mystic Masters deck. This is an indie deck. This is her deck. And she's taken kind of like old world photos and artwork and then sort of rejigged it a bit with her own kind of take by adding color and, you know, little bits of artwork here. And she's written this type down here is the Wheel of Fortune. And I don't actually mind this Wheel of Fortune at all. I think it's fun. She's carrying it in her hand, and the little gentleman up the top there, she's got actually a white flag in her hand here. Yeah, so there you go, guys. This is a deck that I got at the start of the year. I haven't worked for it since, but at the moment what I'm trying to do is just do a rotation to use all my decks and just work with every deck that I have for a month. I'll have to see when this calls to me, but I've bought a little pouch for it because I find the type boxes at times are a bit tight and a bit hard to get your cards in and out. Sometimes, you know, I find this all the time with this tuck box here, because there's this big thing in here, and every time you try and put cards back, it just doesn't fit. So here I am blabbing on. So all I want to say is thank you so much for watching, for liking, and for subscribing to my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, help me grow the channel so I can sort of post more content. At the moment, I haven't been doing much because I just kind of use this as a VR channel, but I do intend to like add some more content on here as well about just personal stuff. All right, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I love participating in the top tarot trumps, and until my next one, be good. Ciao, Wendy.